Well, we can acknowledge this on the show, but I read lips, and so like you'll see I have to work really hard, you know, and I mishear a lot, but what I hear it's funnier, just so you know.
Okay. That's good. We like funnier. We like it funny. So it's
hoping.
good. Yeah.
Because that's what you're going to get. Okay.
I'm really excited. I listened to your Rich roll on the way in, and I'm just like, we have so many similar things.
I know. I was listening, and it's funny because I couldn't tell which one of you was talking.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, who's the one that was saying my ADHD is okay? And then I was like, okay, I think Tyler and I are the same person, but man and woman, I'm scared.
The weirdest thing is the similarities between how your father and you had your last moments, and my mom and her dad had almost the exact same thing.
But that you didn't. The last thing you said was shitty.
No, my mom said I hate you to her dad, and then he died that night. So
I have the chills right now.
Yeah, and I heard that on Ritual, and I was like, oh my god! And my mom never recovered from that ever. She's. I mean,
imagine being 8.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
She was 9. She was 9 years old.
So I love you. I'm like known for that, and I, especially with people, but because of the last words from my dad, and so even the name of the podcast, I have the chills. It's like. It's not about living in fear, but you just don't know.
Yeah.
But now that I was anyway.
Yeah.
So the name of your podcast is very meaningful.
Oh,
but let's go.
Thank you.
That's really
we're doing it right now.
We're doing it.
And we're here with Jen Pastiloff, who is a best-selling author. So thank you for being here. And I think we should go with some confessions.
Let's kick it off with confessions. I have a good one.
Did you say confessions?
Yeah,
okay.
we have a confession.
So I missed you already. I don't know what I thought.
That's
okay.
All
right. Oh.
Well, and it's mandatory.
You gotta have one. So we'll go first. So you can confess to something. I'm sure you have something.
You want me to right now?
No, we'll go first.
Oh, shit.
And then we'll tee you up.
Ooh, can I curse?
Oh yeah, fuck
okay,
it.
Okay.
Yeah. I love you so fucking much, right? We can,
okay.
We wanted
Tyler, don't bastardize
we took the F out. Okay, so in honor of your sobriety journey, my confession today.
Mine's about that. Okay.
Yeah, but it's okay. There's so many things to confess as a sober person. And I've never said this publicly. Only a few people I've made amends to, the people I have made amends to, know this. I pretended to be sober for an entire year. I faked being sober.
Wait, what does that mean? Like you were secretly drinking?
Yes.
Or
so
just emotionally sober?
No. I was secretly drinking for an entire year. So I made the declaration that I was going to be drinkless for a year. I was like, I'm going to take a break from drinking for a year, even though I knew I had a serious problem. It was really to appease my ex-wife. I was like, I'm just going to not drink for a year. And I just lied about it the entire time. So every time I would go away, I would just get shit-faced. Wow. And I'm an actor, so I was gone all the time. And I would just get drunk whenever I was away for a couple days even. I'd be just like chain smoking cigarettes and just slamming vodka, and then going back to my life and just lying to everybody and pretending that I...
What did that do to your mental health?
Oh
I'm already feeling like you must have been...
I was a fucking wreck.
So hating yourself.
Yeah, I was like deeply ashamed, but also so entrenched in it that it almost felt normal.
100%.
You know what I mean? I was like, whatever. Like,
yep.
I'm mostly sober. I'm like sober, 3 out of 4 weeks. Go me. Yeah. But anyway, and then the big kicker of that is that when I finally did get sober, I met another alcoholic who I told this to, and he was like, man, imagine if you put 10% of the energy you put into secretly being drunk into being sober. Imagine how easy being sober would be for you. Because being a fucking deceitful drunk is
so many things you're saying right now.
It's complicated. It takes a lot of effort to lie to everybody, to figure out when you're going to drink.
Yeah.
I started planning my life around how I could get away for 2 or 3 days, lying about work, saying I had a convention to go to. I had to go. And I would leave and I would drink and then I would come back. Same with smoking. As soon as I got in the car to go to the airport, I would go buy a pack of cigarettes. I'd chain smoke 2 or 3 at the airport. And then I wouldn't smoke for a day before I'd come home so that no one could smell it. But my ex started saying things like, I can tell you're smoking because your lungs smell different. Like I just smelled different. My breath smelled different. Even though it wasn't smoke, she was like, there's something inside of you chemically that's different.
Wow.
And then when I finally came clean about that, that's when I decided to get sober for a year for real. And then I got sober permanently after that for real. But that's a big thing. It was being secretly drunk for a year.
Thanks for sharing that. That's a big, and it's one of the, those things that you can only share in hindsight. Because if you share it in the moment, I say, you have to, now what?
Well, your cover's blown. You can't, you're shot.
And then now what? The now what is, so what are you going to do? I wasn't prepared to do anything about it. I
want to make t-shirts that say being self-aware is overrated. That's why I love Gina Minardi's episode. I was like, yes, but talk therapy. She's a therapist, but
she's my therapist.
I've known since I'm little. I may not be the smartest person, but I'm wise. And I was like born like a 40-year-old Yiddish grandmother. I knew I drank. I mean, all the things I know until the day is long, but it's not until you do something, right?
Yeah. And I didn't want to do anything.
Exactly.
Actually,
that's why I never named my drink.
I would gladly have done another fake sober year at that point, but I didn't, thankfully.
Wow. All right, well, I feel like yours ties into the sobriety.
Well,
so do you want to
so many things of what he said. Mine was about sobriety, but also the energy comment. I was listening to the Gina podcast. You were talking about the saboteur, and I was thinking sometimes, or my mom used to say when I was an exercise bulimic, all the energy that you spend focusing on this, you could have written a book already. And I would think about these things. But all it would do would make me ruminate and beat myself up, which is what my whole new book is about. Don't use any of these things as more fodder to beat yourself up, right? But the sobriety thing, oh fuck, now I'm going to have to share it. I hate you guys already. I hate you so much.
Oh, that's all right.
I hate you so much, which is code for I love you so much. So lately I've been depressed, which is another thing that usually is only easier said in hindsight. I've never been able to say these kind of things in the moment for many reasons. One, it's so vulnerable. But also then everyone starts to offer stuff and but I've just been going through it and really been wanting to drink. And I have an Italy retreat coming up and I have all this pre-grief because I do it every year. Italy without wine, pre-grief, mind you.
Yeah.
And so lately I'm like really wanting to drink and I'm like, maybe, fuck, why did I tell people? Why did I say, maybe, God, I know A isn't the only way. Maybe I can a little and then go back. And and then I was drinking something that I thought was a mocktail and also have terrible digestion with bitters and pouring a ton in it. And then I looked at the thing and I'm like, duh, bitters have alcohol.
Yeah.
And I noticed, I was like, oh yeah, but you only use a teeny bit.
Right, more bitters.
I was putting a ton last night. And so I was like, oh God, okay. I really want to drink. And I guess that's not a confession. Maybe you still do.
No, it is.
No,
Okay.
I want to say one little.
And can I just a little and then go back? Or is that, am I going to just beat myself up? And then
I think bitters is where we draw the line. Yeah.
Fuck
I did the same thing with
Tyler.
a sleep tincture. I had this like little dropper for like sleep. And I looked at it later and it was like 11% alcohol. And I just kept using it.
You took the lid off.
No, but at night I was like, maybe just one more. Ding, 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 ding. You know, it's just like, taste a little bit of that alcohol. And then I just threw it in the garbage.
I'm just so, oh my God, I feel like I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
I'm just so frustrated. And it's so, I have a line in a poem where I say something about fair is just a place where they have carnivals and funnel cakes.
Yeah.
And since I'm a child, my dad dropped dead at 8. It's not fair. And it's a childlike line. But my dad died when I was 8.
Yeah.
It's not fair that, why can Henry, my partner, Cherney is another Canadian actor, stop drinking with me, but he's cool. He'll have a Manhattan, and I'll say, get another one, babe. He's like, no, I'm good.
I know, which is
and
alien
I'm like,
to me.
how do you do that?
Yeah, or like drink half a drink and then put it down.
Well,
and
he
my
won't do
instinct
that.
is like, I'll drink that.
But I don't understand that.
No,
So
my partner's like that too.
And maybe that's my confession more than wanting to drink, because I don't lie about that. When I go to a restaurant, the waiter will go, well, do you want the lavender lemonade with the vodka? I go, well, but don't bring it.
Yeah.
But I always do, because I'm not,
Of course I fucking want it.
Yeah, I always say I want it, or I say drink in front of me. It doesn't.
Yeah. Oh my God!
I said I want it regardless if you're having it.
Yeah. I had a friend, our friend Eliza Coop, who came on the show. We're hanging out in like a week and a half in Joshua Tree, and she was like, "Are you okay with people drinking around you?" And I was like, Yes.
Yeah.
Like, don't ever tell people my alcoholic friend is coming over. Hide the booze. You know what I mean? It makes me feel like a total pariah.
No,
drink in front of me. Do what you want to do.
I mean, you don't want them. I don't want them like, like
well,
a couple.
I'm not the drink police. You know what I mean?
You welcome, like if I go over to your house, you're like, bring some beers if you want to have beers. But just take them with you when you leave.
I don't keep it in my house.
But even at my house, I had whiskey forever. I just gave it to my friend. I knew I wouldn't until recently. So maybe my confession is, I've been really in not a great place, and I wear fake nails, and I can always tell when I start picking them off.
Look at that.
I was like, how?
You're missing a few.
No, really.
I'm like,
I
see it. Yeah.
And I make art. I don't know how, but I started, and it's the second time I've done this. I was gluing stuff with Gorilla Glue and paint. So my hand was covered in like blue, and it doesn't come off. Yeah. And I could tell by the level of like the way I look. I'll also, another thing is like I'll attack my face, and I think a lot of women do this. Yeah,
squeezies?
But it's pick. And another line in a poem I have, I said something about there's nothing left to destroy besides what's closest, but to go in the mirror. And so I'm like, oh yeah, I can tell. So I've been in it. Yeah, that's my confession.
Thank you very much for sharing that. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for holding space.
Well, that's what we do here.
We do. That's what this is really about. Is setting the table.
You guys can hold space for me.
Yes.
This is something that I hold deep shame over, and I'm going to admit this right now.
It feels like you're going to make a joke.
No.
This is big.
Not.
We've been trying to get him to go.
But this
deeper.
is not.
Can I lean forward? Do I bring this?
Yes.
With me?
This is actually not going to be that deep. I think you're going to be disappointed, Tyler.
Copycat.
That's not holding space.
I like your moves. Okay. All right.
What are we? We're September now, and I have not read a book this year.
Oh.
And that is very shameful to me.
I haven't read a book this year.
Well,
I brought one.
I know. Yeah,
I started like
Where
7.
Is it?
Well, exactly. And so I think I've only even started one. Yeah. And so I think that over the last years, my reading habits have really declined, and I find that to be shameful. Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Proof of life.
Yes. Product placement.
Yeah. I think if I'm going to read a book this year, it'll be this one.
Yep.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I feel like I don't like that about myself.
What
I feel
is
like
it? I'm going to coach you right now.
Yeah.
What do you feel around it, aside the shame?
Well, shame, and just feel like I'm letting everyone
let me
else
ask you this:
down.
were you a reader? Like, are you a?
Well, when I was a kid, but I think in my adult life I've struggled. I mean, and it's not like I don't read things; I just don't read books.
Your fucking name is Reed.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Wow.
He's denying his namesake.
Yeah,
wow.
It's spelled differently, but the
so on the nose.
Yeah, a little chew on the nose. Been waiting to make that joke for a while.
Well, I asked because it's like I used to be, and part of it is there's a great book called Stolen Focus, but it is indicative of all of our attention spans.
Absolutely.
And that's scary. I find it to be scary.
But I feel like this is something I've been struggling with for a while. Even, maybe I can go back 15 years and say, oh, I wasn't reading as much as I should have been then, before smartphones. And
right.
I enjoy reading. And it hit home when my daughter just started 5th grade. And
she just
started 5th grade. And so part of what she has to do every night is read for 20 minutes and literally has to do it, mark it off on a sheet and, bring it back to the teacher.
Yeah, Gabe just went through this.
Are you doing it
year.
with her?
Well, no, I haven't.
Okay,
been.
wait.
Yeah,
let's
well,
do
I haven't had my daughter since she started school. So, because I'm divorced.
Give me your hand.
Get over there.
Okay.
We are going to commit to doing this because my son just started 4th, and I was reading Wrinkle in Time, and I feel the same with the reading, and it makes me feel shame and all the things, but 20 minutes, I think that's doable.
That's really doable.
But with our kids.
Can I join that too? I slack in the reading department so badly.
And it's such a good way. It's a fun way, and it's also modeling for them, and it's doable. So are you in?
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's the reason I'm confessing is I want to hold myself accountable.
You want some accountability.
The whole point of the show is we're trying to get better. And I think if you read more, inherently you're going to get better. Yeah. But what I wanted to lead into was to say, because it is true, I feel deep shame over this of like, I'm smarter than that. I should be better educated. I should be reading all the time. And I know I just watched your TED Talk last night, your TEDx talk, and basically you said, let go shame.
I'm thinking about that though. I don't know if it's even let go of it because It is momentarily.
Yeah.
It's just like with sobriety, right? It's just for today.
Yeah.
That's and that's why, okay, we're going to read every day, right? No,
today.
That's how we set up to fail, I think. So let's just go tonight.
Yeah.
But we let go in the moment by naming it. That's what this confession thing was so cool. It is letting go of it, but I think it's for the moment. Because my gosh, we can think we have, and then we wake up, it's in bed with us again.
Every morning is a reset for me.
Right.
Like literally, I wake up in like a melee of like.
So yeah, let go of it, and that's what you just did by naming it. And even if it feels trite, like whoa, theirs was about something like depression and drinking. I'm like, but they're all things. My question to you would be, even though I don't think the why matters as much, you love to read or you want to, why do you think you're not?
Because I get distracted by other stuff.
Your
like
phone?
I want to, absolutely my phone or watching a show or like honestly doing a crossword puzzle or like, or, whatever. I mean, I own 2 businesses. So you're always working, right? If you're an entrepreneur, so you can always say that, or like I'm doing like my best ball fantasy football draft or something like that. It's like there's so many endless ways that you can distract yourself. Endless.
You know what happened?
You're telling ADD people.
So I have this thing called the Hatch, right? It's instead of having my phone in my room, I have this little device that's attached to my phone, which is out in the other room. It's called a Hatch, and it has like soothing sounds and lights, and it's like I can like set 20 minutes of like a sunset with like these like outdoor cricket sounds, which we live in Ojai, so that's hilarious. But and I would lie there with those on reading. I'm currently reading Hard-Boiled Wonderland and the End of the World. It's a great book. I want to get the rights to make a movie out of it, but I'd be like the 1 millionth person to do that.
How do you know that?
Well, I don't. I should look into it. You're right. But anyway, my point is I had built this habit around turning on my Hatch, putting my phone in the other room, and then reading before I went to bed. And I have this warm, gushy feeling every time I'm getting ready for bed. I'm like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to turn on the Hatch and I'm going to lie in bed. I'm going to read. And then I fucking don't.
And then you what?
I don't. I go to bed and I'm like, well, maybe I'll just finish the spelling bee from today.
Do you feel shame when that happens?
I wouldn't say. So I've worked a lot on allowing the shame to come and go, like a leaf in a stream. Like, allow. Exactly. And acknowledgement is a big thing for me. So if I can acknowledge it, I can start to let it go right away. But I wouldn't say it's shame, but I feel frustration. I feel like, hey, you know better than that. You know what's actually going to make you feel good when you go to bed. That was the thing you were excited to do, and you're denying yourself the thing that you already were like,
but the spelling bee is pretty good though.
It is, and I'm a genius.
What did you say? Falling asleep?
No, the spelling bee on the
New York Times spelling bee.
No, it's okay. Falling asleep is good, but staying asleep is harder.
I love falling asleep.
Yeah, staying asleep is a trick.
I love
for me
that you
too.
said building a habit. I was driving, from Ojai, and driving is when I get my best thinking done, and when I talk on the phone. And I was thinking about that, building a habit, and because I think it's so easy and such a trap to be like, that's just the way I am, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
And I do have raging ADD, and I know there are things I do suck at. I'm okay with saying that I need help for, but there are things for example, right now my circadian rhythm is really off.
Yeah.
Like really off, and I can't get up in the morning, and I need to build some better. I want to build some better habits.
Nice catch. Yeah.
And I love that you build that because it's possible.
Yeah. In AA, we talk a lot. There's my fluff. We talk a lot about your default settings, your factory default settings.
I thought I made that extra. When I say my default self, I'm like, that's just something I said.
No, I mean, but if you hadn't heard that before, then you basically did make it up. That's the way I live my life. But the default settings that we think are so rigid, right? Like you can't possibly flip those switches. You couldn't mod your default settings, but you really can. And it's about building. It's not an instantaneous change. Nothing is. You can build any habit. You can take down habits. The hard part is when you're
in it. Like right now, I told you guys I was in it. It doesn't feel that way, and that's the tricky part. That's why everything's a day-to-day thing, because it's like, well, I went to those meetings, I read the book. It's like, oh, you think you could rely on that?
Yeah.
But it feels so immovable. It feels like this is just the way I am. It's the lack of possibility that freaks me out the most. The dark days.
You know where I said this before, but the thing that tipped me off that I could change, my sponsor early on said, just try not calling yourself a piece of shit. even in your head, like just even if you're just like, oh man,
I love the dumbness, like the duh. It's so amazing.
Yeah, maybe don't refer to yourself as a piece of fecal matter. Like maybe say something a little kinder than a piece of shit, or just take it out. And I was like, yeah, like that's gonna make a difference. And I actively just took that one reflex of calling myself a piece of shit out of my lexicon, and it like really changed the way I thought about myself, like very deeply. And then I started taking all of the little things I call myself and noticing, like, oh, well, I called myself an idiot, or I said, oh, you're fat, or you what, and I started taking them out and replacing
now he
them with
calls
kind
himself
words.
Roger in his head.
Yeah, exactly. Tyler sucks. No, see, Roger is a beautiful man.
Right.
But it was the first thing that made me realize, oh, you can change. You can affect change. People who say they can't change or they can't build new habits, it's like, it's not true.
You've probably said this. I didn't do the deep dive into listening to all the episodes.
Well, there's only been 11.
Yeah, but that's 11 hours. That's 11 hours.
Yeah. Shaming me.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that, too. I knew it. Although I'm huge.
I go for the easy jokes.
You do, actually. I didn't want to say anything, but although I love Judy Greer, I geeked out.
I loved you first, Judy.
Yeah. No, you don't.
Yeah,
I didn't think it would be a competition with you.
Yeah. She's not watching.
I'm getting oddly competitive with her.
So what's really amazing is my deafness is like I just hear really know what I feel a jocular loving energy, but I don't really know what anyone's saying. So I'm just like,
So can I ask you about that?
What?
I'm just curious about that feeling. I've worked with a handful of hearing impaired people. Does it help you if I slow down?
If you slow down?
Slow down my speech?
Sometimes, but it helps. I notice I tend to always lean forward. I have to look at you. What's really annoying, you're not doing it. Although these I guess are just for this, not for us, right?
Correct.
Okay. I was like, what? Is this just for show? Because you're not any louder. But people do this, right? I always sit in the front, and people cover their mouth with the mic, and I'm like, I can't read your lips.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to go side mic so you can see.
Yeah.
What's really interesting before I ask the question is, years ago when I first moved to Ojai, I went out with Gina Minardi, who was on your podcast.
Woo, Gina, we love Gina.
Gina's incredible, and we have beautiful. We're both witches, and
I want to ask about your coven.
You're in it already, duh.
Right,
Both of you.
Oh shit!
All right,
duh. But we went out this one night to some Ojai thing, and she said something to me that was really astute. Listeners or watchers, she's an incredible human and therapist and much more. But she got emotional at the end of the night, and this was before I could cry. I've only been able to cry for 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
She said, at the end of the night, we're in the car, and she said, she had tears in her eyes, and she said, I was watching you, and you are working so hard. I can't imagine what it's like. I watched how hard you were working, and no one had ever acknowledged that. So I guess maybe because she's a therapist, she's used to listening, but so she was watching me because, people were behind us. We were sitting on the ground somewhere. It was some kind of dance thing outside in the mountain. But she would watch me have to turn and work so hard to focus, and it moved her. But I felt so seen, and it was, I don't know, it was just such a beautiful moment.
Yeah. I can imagine it is a constant effort, right?
Yes.
Even in this room, which is fairly controlled, to still be
but
here.
I'm not used to two people,
Right.
So I had I
Ping
noticed
pong.
I got panicky.
Yeah.
But then you guys, the energy is so lovely that I felt safe. There's a quote I repeat all the time by Freud, I think, how bold one gets when one is sure of being loved.
I didn't know that quote, but
so
it's
if
true.
I had walked in and you guys were like,
Yeah.
it's very different.
That's so funny because we have said we get people in this chair and people just talk about everything. We're blown away with what people are willing to share.
You.
Yeah.
You set the tone. I mean, it's like me when I lead retreats. I'm not the leader, but I'm clear there's a tone setter, what have you, right?
Yeah.
Well, we just yesterday we started school, and so we had the day where
You said your kids are.
yeah. So
started
we're,
school.
yesterday was the day where we went in and in the morning, and they give you the whole spiel, and we sit down with the teacher, and they talk about what they're going to do for the year, and the kids are off playing, and it's just all the parents in there, and our 5th grade teacher, Sage, who's great,
Love Sage.
he basically, and he put it right up in giant letters for all the kids. It says, "You belong here."
I'm all sweaty. I'm making a joke, but that is my physiological response.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't.
I'm like sweating away the emotion.
And his point was that if the kids don't feel that they belong and they feel uncomfortable, it doesn't matter what kind of math we teach them, they're not going to learn it.
Yeah.
I wish I had that.
I wish
God.
every kid had that.
Canadian public school right here. But like I actually said to Martha last night, I had the same thing. I had the high school orientation. My daughter's in high school, just started grade 9, 9th grade, whatever you guys say in America. I was sitting in the orientation, and their new history teacher, Sydney,
you can talk to her.
Who's awesome.
Yeah, look at me.
Sorry, Sydney, I know, but because his kid goes so good.
Yeah.
So their new history teacher, Sydney, she was talking about, I don't teach anything about war. I don't teach anything about the history of this country via its battles or, acquisition of land. And I was like, well, that's dumb. You should teach, like, that's a big part of history.
Did you raise your hand and say that?
But I had that very, I almost did. I had that very knee-jerk reaction of like, this is a problem with Oak Grove. They're not academic enough. But then in the exact same moment, I was like, have I retained any of the historical information about like where Canada went to war and what battles we won? Have I retained any of?
I'm glad you said that, because my husband, because we're not divorced yet, he's one of those that I'll be like, World War da-da-da.
Yeah.
But I zero.
So
But I always thought that was just me.
No, it's me too. And I just don't think it's important to who I am as a human being. I think the social emotional elements of who I am are very important. And I think that's why our kids are at Oak Grove, because the social emotional growth there is off the charts. And I just had that moment again yesterday. I was like, yeah, they're in the right place. They're in the right school, because who cares if they remember, the Battle of Versailles, or if they're,
and if your kid can walk out of there with the ability to make the other people in their life feel like they belong in whatever space they are,
exactly.
Then it's like, then you have the most successful kid in the world.
Well, and just being a good human being.
Can you tell him, like,
So
the question I was going to ask when I said I didn't do the deep dive is, or I didn't hear it because deaf, is the title of your podcast. How do you say it? ILYSM?
ILYSM.
ILYSM?
ILYSM.
What's it mean?
I love you so much.
I know.
Yeah.
Give me the origin story, the genesis, the etymology. Look at me using all the synonyms.
Of the title.
Yes. Of ILYSM.
I shout out my friend Katie McQuillan. She posted a story on Instagram, a picture of her kids, and she hashtagged ILYSM, which is a hashtag you use if I love you so much on the thing. We had the concept of the show. We had the concept of the show, but we didn't have a title yet. And I saw it and I'm like, oh, that's it right there. That's it.
I love it because you're two dudes.
Yeah, that's why we liked it too.
Yeah.
He brought it to me and I was like, yeah,
because
it's soft,
unexpected. Yeah, I do. I love the
open.
I love the like. Oh.
Yeah.
Because it's generally a woman thing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, that's
love it.
Yeah, we're not a broadcast. You know? We don't have we're not in the manosphere
and
of
and I think
podcasts.
it goes back to what I think the whole premise of the show is that we can be like straight white guys and tell each other we love each other.
Yeah.
And I mean, is that a novel thing? Sometimes it feels
but
like
you
it
love
is.
me.
I'll tell you later. I think I'm getting there. Tyler, one of my favorite things about doing this show is we have a little hug after each episode.
We do.
And I just get a whiff of your beard, and it smells so good.
Yeah, I put a lot of effort into that, Reed. It's not
minimal effort, actually.
Minimal effort, but it's definitely something I've cultivated with the help of my friends at thebeardedbrotherhood.co. They have a fine selection of products here that I have on display. And I use beard butters and I use beard oils often to achieve that smell.
It's soft and smells good.
Thank you.
Because I occasionally the cheeks nuzzle against each other when we hug, and I like the feeling.
Yeah, and it stays with you. You drive home and you're like, damn.
And look, I know I don't have a beard, but they do have colognes going. I have some of the cologne. It's been getting some good notice around town. I think, so people are liking it. So if you go to beardedbrotherhood.co, that's not .com, that's .co. And look, this is crazy. You are going to use the code ILYSM15 and you are going to get 15% off your purchase. ILYSM15 at beardedbrotherhood.co. Go check it out. Hey, are you a love bug? Are you loving this show? Because if you are, you might want to check out our Patreon. And we have I think we kind of named them love bugs now.
We do. I think love bugs stuck.
Yeah, so that's what I call them now internally.
Yeah,
and it's great. So we're having a good time in Patreon. We're interacting with people. People can see ad-free episodes of the show. You got my playlist going. We got behind the scenes vlogs.
Road confessions. Confessions anywhere. On the spot confessions, elevator confessions, wherever I am. Bathroom confessions.
Exactly. And I think we just lined up that Q&A, and I think that's great. You know what? The ad-free episodes. So if you don't like ads like this one, then you don't want to listen to this kind of ad.
If you hate this.
And, be like our bud, Jonathan Newman. Let's be honest. He's our first, $100 level sponsor. So he's going to get a shout out on every episode.
Yeah.
If you want to be like that, if you want to, show your support for us, we're so appreciative. We really couldn't do this, honestly, without our patrons.
Not at all.
So we want to give back to you all because you are giving us so much. And so we appreciate it. It's patreon.com. ILYSM pod. ILYSM pod. I know, it's on the screen.
It is hard to say. We love you so much. On that note, can I read? I just went to my best friend's wedding in Vancouver, which is where I'm from. And
I went to get my glasses on like I was going to read. That is so weird.
Yeah. Would you mind?
We are the same person.
I'll take your glasses.
Did you say you officiated your friend's wedding? And
No, I didn't officiate. I just attended.
Yeah.
It's my best friend. And he's a guy that has, through our friendship, and I'm hoping that he's listening. I know he is. He loves the show. He is a guy that has just been almost like recklessly open. He would
recklessly open.
Yeah, like just like would feel on a level that people didn't even have time.
Take a note from me. I need to remember that phrase.
He always struck me as a person that was willing to go anywhere, emotionally, intellectually, and I wasn't ready for it when we were younger. I've caught up to him as I've gotten older, and he said,
long time friend.
Yeah, very long, like 30 years.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
And he wrote this to me after listening to the Gina episode. No, the Ian Fidance episode.
He wrote it or you did?
He did. Okay. Eric wrote it. I call him Cobra.
Cobra?
So
This is from Cobra.
This is from Cobra. Eric, I hope you don't mind him reading this. Catching up on the pod last night. Really interesting episode with Stella. Actually, it was the Stella one. One of my faves. Pretty raw at the top. I know there's a depth and hurt at the center of everything that is forcing its way to the surface. Confronting it through all kinds of uncertainty and the hard truths of aging is the purpose of all this, right? Staying
Let me
busy.
read it or read it slower.
Oh, sorry. Staying busy and maintaining the airs of relevance is programmed into us for so long. It's our identity, stability, validation, and it all goes away eventually. Sooner for some than others, but those footholds inevitably decay, and then we are just what we are. I know you're shedding layers, and your armor and defenses are all mixed up in it, but you are pure love. Fuck, I'm going to cry. That's the truth. It's the foundation of everything around you, and it's difficult and clumsy, and we're meant to stammer through its translation, but you're doing it, and I'm so proud of you. And that just blew me away, man. Like,
and a guy wrote,
and if you saw him, he looks like Thor.
What's his name, Eric?
Eric. He looks like Hercules, literally. Mm-hmm. And he has always been the most surprising and loving human being, and people just didn't give him the time didn't see it. People didn't give him the time to finish his thoughts. It's like he's very intentional and takes time to say what he means, and a lot of people don't have time for that.
Wow.
They push right past it, but I always got to see this version of him that was so raw and real, and he lost his mom at an early age.
I love that he found his person. He got married.
Yeah. I was a little jealous.
That's okay.
No, anyway, I wanted to read that because I think that kind of profundity.
I'm so glad you read it because, what a beautiful share. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, Eric. I love
and
you.
I'm having, I'm going to say it, I'm going to name it. I'm having a lot of shame because I want to keep like telling listeners and watchers, I'm deaf, right? Because I know I don't present as a typical capital D deaf person, and so it must seem like I'm just not paying attention. Huh? What? Huh? And like I get, it just makes me feel so stupid. So I wanted to share that.
Well, you're not, and we're adjusting as well, right?
Yeah, just like it's funny because I've done podcasts with two people, but on Zoom. In person,
we should have sat next to each other.
No, there's no should. It's just like it's funny all this stuff that's coming up and how self-conscious I feel and like the stupid thing. So, but I love that you share that because my stuff in the world, my workshops, retreats, tends to be mostly women, and that's self-selecting just because women, self-help or whatever. Anytime men show up, I get like turned on, not sexually, but excited.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, little. No, just kidding. Excited because
it can be a both and.
Because it provides hope, but it's so important because I have a boy, little boy, and you being emotional, you sharing your stuff, reading that from Eric. We need more of that to combat, to use a word fitting with toxic masculinity, but it makes it so important, and that especially why I'm grateful that you shared that. More of that.
Thank you. Yeah, and that actually might be my first time crying on the show.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yay.
Which I got close once.
I was emotional on the way here, and I was like, oh man. It's funny because it's like only been 3 years since I've been able to cry, which is so weird. And I have this like special relationship with This Is Us because the TV show, I'd watch it to cry. Because I could cry watching that, or Terms of Endearment. Yeah. Especially that movie because of the stuff with the mom dying, the way the little boy was. But with my own, I could not access, So it's still foreign to me, crying. So it's becoming more natural, but I still get a panic response sometimes, or...
Are you okay now? I feel like you've almost cried twice on the show already.
But I feel...
Yeah.
It makes me feel so grateful.
Yeah.
Do you know how long I wished for it? I would watch you, and I would get envious because I would be like, it's like being constipated, truly, emotionally. Not being able to emote is the worst. It's awful. I love it. It makes me feel alive. It makes me feel softer. So I hope I cry more.
Yeah.
Good.
We're going to make you cry more.
I'm totally okay.
Yeah. Well, no, and Tyler, I do want to add one thing to that, is that I think that's a testament to you that you've cultivated, that your lifelong best friend would write you that.
Yeah.
I think that
that's
shows
proof of life.
That shows that you're in the right place, because to have a friendship, like, I think to sit in either of these chairs, honestly, you have to have had things like that in your life.
Well, and we've talked about like the importance of male relationships, not traditionally going golfing or what, nothing wrong with that, but like male relationships like that. I have a small circle of good male friends. Reed, I think that's what we're becoming, that's why we bonded.
I want to hear more of this because I have a son, for real.
Yeah. Well, and I have children as well. I have a young 9-year-old boy, and the responsibility to be a feeling well-rounded, non-toxic man.
And my son's into video games now, and but he's so tender and sweet, but what you're saying, I love it, is because you did that. That's not happenstance. That like attracts like, and you cultivated that.
We made that, and we leave room for like 3-hour phone conversations where we just meander, and we talk about existential crises, and we talk about love and loss and everything, and it's like, it's beautiful.
Well, what's your origin story?
Yeah, it's interesting.
What's your love story?
Our love story is we met at a kid birthday party.
like all the best love stories.
But the romantic version of that, the romanticized version of that, is that we gravitated to one another at a kid's birthday party.
Yeah.
It was busy.
Like
There were lots of other.
You locked eyes.
Kind of.
Yeah. We ended up sort of like sidling up to each other and like immediately recognizing.
I love that. Without even being, you're just like, oh.
I remember being in a group of 4 or 5 guys, a circle talking, and I think we both made each other laugh. And so I think when you can do that, it's like, oh, okay. We've talked about how we're trying to have humor that isn't punching down. That isn't what
mushed down?
Punching
down.
Oh, I was like, what's mushed down humor? Yeah.
And so I think when I see other guys maybe who are funny.
When you say that, meaning like at the expense of someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
And I certainly have done that and probably still do it. But it's like when you see someone who seems kind and funny, that's very attractive.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true though. Without like victimless humor. Like it's hard, even if it's about attacking yourself, but like victimless humor. And I felt like Reed was like a kind, funny guy. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you've described my fantasy person.
A kind, funny person.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we all.
I mean, I always think I'm like, humor is the most fine breath before that, but humor is my. My dad was the funniest person to this day. He died in 1983. I swear, to this day, people will be like, Mel Pastiloff was the funniest person I ever met. Yeah. They met a lot of people since 1983.
Right.
So, yeah, set the bar high. So, if you guys can make me laugh.
Yeah.
Now, you're in my circle.
That's good. That's what it says on every woman's dating profile. They want a funny guy.
Yeah.
And then they don't like my funny DMs, though. I'll tell you that.
I liked your funny DM.
And now to switch it into a not funny topic.
Oh, great.
You talked about your dad, and you lost your dad when you were 8.
Yeah,
8 years old.
Yeah.
In a traumatic way for you. I mean, dying is traumatic, but the what it left you with.
Yeah.
The last words to your dad.
I hate you.
Yeah.
And then he dropped dead. I mean, he dropped dead later that night. It wasn't right, but that's the last thing I ever said to him.
And you said it on, can I say Rich Roll? Yeah, you said on Rich Roll that you knew that he had died somehow.
First of all, I've always been a witch, and I've been like, my intuition is off the charts, and I do think my hearing loss has a lot to do with it, and then getting sober, so it's like, whew.
Yeah.
But think about this, you guys. A week before my dad died, and so it's July 83, Pensacola, New Jersey. This is such a weird story. There was like a siren in the background, like an ambulance, and we're at the kitchen table, and I go, "It's coming here." What? And they knocked on the door, the ambulance. It was like a wrong address. And my dad died a week later. I have the chills. That will never not floor me. That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew. Because my aunt had been living with us. And my sister and I were in my room or something. And there was yelling and there's cursing in the ambulance. And all night long we waited up. And then when I came in the kitchen the next morning, my mom was like a health food nut in the 80s, which was like wheat germ. Which I don't think they make
carob. A lot of carob.
I love carob.
Yeah, I still do. I've been conditioned to tolerate carob.
But we weren't allowed to have junk food. And I walked in the kitchen, and then, I'm going to exaggerate it, but like wall-to-wall Dunkin' Donut boxes. And I knew.
Yeah.
I knew. And I was treated like an adult because, like I said, I was born like a 40-year-old. Both my parents parentified me. My dad was my person. But my mom also treated me like an adult. Like, oh, my mom, bless. Before my dad died, I had to be 7. She was like, they were going to get a divorce. And my mom was telling me, how my dad had an affair while she was pregnant. All these things that, like, ruined me for men.
You didn't need to know.
And even still, bless my mom. I love you, Mom. She's an early Alzheimer's. Even still, I just want an apology. She's like, well, I had to tell you because we were going to get divorced. You had to know. And I'm like, Mom.
7.
Yeah.
So, and having a kid, I really try to not I treat him like a person, but not give him information that he does not need. So, I thought it was my fault, but also I had to be the man of the house now. And I literally was like, I don't care. No, they said, we have to tell you something. I was like, I already know.
Yeah.
Your dad died. I know. And then I literally said, I don't care. And I clenched my jaw. And you guys, literally, my tooth just broke, fell out. I still clench. I will watch this video and I will see myself doing it. I just clenched my jaw and I just started chanting, be strong, be strong, be strong. Don't cry. And I like shut off the ability. And over time, I lost the ability, you know, but I also began chanting, and then it just lived in me, in my marrow. I am bad. That was my baseline.
Right.
Because my dad said, you're being bad and making me not feel good. I hate you.
Right.
Well, I heard I am bad, being bad,
Locked
even though
in.
they're different, as Brene Brown has taught us.
Yeah.
But I heard I'm bad, and obviously I'm 8, so it was my fault. I killed him. My
course,
words.
yeah.
I'm a murderer.
Yeah.
Not
That's
fun.
heavy, heavy, heavy stuff. I asked you this because I also wanted to follow up with this question. You said on Rich Roll, I don't know if this is a real memory or if it's just something I've told so many times.
I always
now.
say, oh, you're saying
Yeah,
I
I'm
said that?
asking you because that resonated for me because I have a lot of stories that are part of my narrative,
Yeah.
part of how I identify. And I when I tell them, a lot of times I'm like, did that really happen?
No,
or have I just been saying that for so long?
I know. That's
You know,
what's
and at a certain
frightening
point,
about memory.
it doesn't even matter anymore. It's like it's just become its own thing.
That's what
I
frightens
want
me
you to
about
break
memory.
that down for me. Yeah.
Because, you know, losing your parents so young, all you have are memories. So the idea of losing that, I was like, it's not that it didn't happen. It's just, I can't visually remember it anymore. Like, I don't remember his voice. It absolutely happened.
But you
memory is malleable.
Yeah, you remember the story more than you remember the.
Yeah.
And I've heard this too, that these stories we tell, they imperceptibly they shift little by little by little over
Absolutely.
time. So you end up, it's like a game of operator or telephone, where by the end of your life, that story could be completely
Absolutely.
different from its origin.
Yeah, we'll try to have a talk about an event that happened 15 years ago with your spouse.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have probably
just gonna
different.
say
yeah.
that.
Different accounts.
The events surrounding my dad's death and all, I can't reach it anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
It's locked into its own
Yes,
thing.
and you tell the story so many times. But also, what is the truth? You know, my friend, and I'm going to humble brag because she's fucking genius, and I was obsessed with the show, and I think that's how we became friends, because I Twitter stalked her. Sarah Treem created a show called The Affair, which was so brilliant on Showtime, and it's like, you know...
My wife was watching it while we went through a divorce.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was interesting.
But essentially, it was told in 2 different parts, his point of view, her point of view,
Right.
and there was always sometimes the subtle changes were so just what she was wearing or he said, and I think about that a lot. Like my sister and I, we were both there. What the fuck?
But perception, right?
Right.
A slightly different
Yeah.
angle. Yeah.
There's a line actually in a poem I wrote in the book called "Altering Time," where I say, "Tell a story enough times it becomes the story, but with a slant."
Yeah.
Memory is malleable, and
Yeah.
I believe that in the core of me. But I do know it happened. My
Right.
father died. I know I could change how I feel about it, meaning that it was my fault.
Right.
But what happened happened.
And I'm so curious, even the tagline on your book.
Give me that book.
Let go, let love, and stop looking for permission to live your life. I love a book called Drop the Rock. Do you know the book Drop the Rock?
Drop the Rock?
Drop the Rock. The idea is I can't swim right now. I'm trying to
love
swim
that.
across the shore. And I was like, what the fuck are you holding that rock for?
Why am I holding
Let
that?
go of those rocks, man. And
But don't throw it at a person.
Yeah, no, don't throw it. Just drop it. Don't throw it. Don't huck it. Don't weaponize it.
I
Just
gotta
drop
get
it.
that.
It's great. It's a short book. It's an easy read. It's big in the program.
I was about to make a joke and be like, "There's nothing in it. It's just called Drop the Rock and it's
Yeah.
empty." And you're
All
like,
you need is the title. Really,
Right.
it just sparks all these thoughts.
Right.
But the idea of I can't do this holding all this shit. I can't stay
yeah.
afloat holding all this shit. And you're like, why am I holding this shit? I feel like that to me translates to looking for permission to live your life, which we all do a lot, which is waiting for someone to say, now go. Now you get to go. And it's but it never happens, right? No one ever gives you that permission.
Never. And yet, and I keep thinking I'm done. I mean, every time I'm like, I'm done waiting.
Yeah.
I'm done waiting to be picked, waiting to be chosen. And I'm sure, as actor and you understand,
Oh
right?
my God, yeah.
when I worked at this restaurant for a summer job for 14 years.
It's a long summer. Yeah.
For this semester off, still going on. And I was pretending to be an actor. I say that because I never really wanted it. I loved it, and I get my share of it now in what I do. But I would wait at the host stand. It was like dead all the time, and I was waiting for someone to discover me, because why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
And guess what? That never happened. Spoiler alert. But what I really was waiting for, the epiphany was very recent. At first, I thought it was to pick me, to love me. But really, it was to give me permission to stop hating myself.
Yeah, exactly.
And just like I wanted someone to stop making me drink, and no one was ever going to do that.
Fuck no, they can't. And even one step further, it's not just not hating yourself, learning to love yourself, which is like another whole, you have to kick off a second leg of that journey after you stop hating yourself. Then you have to be like, okay, now what? Oh, now I have to love this.
Now what is the most, my first book on being human, not a spoiler alert, but the book ends with the words, now what?
Yeah.
Because I find them to be probably some of the most important things we can ask ourselves. And it can be minuscule, but otherwise it's like, great, you drink every night, Jen.
Yeah.
Now what?
Now what?
Now
Yeah.
what?
No, I lived a life for a long time waiting for happiness to show up. I had all the trappings of a happy life. I had a career.
The trappings of happiness.
Yeah. I had 2 cars, a big house. I remember, I've said this before on the show, but my ex-wife and I were sitting on this like love seat overlooking the Topa Topa Mountains up on the top of Del Oro Drive. My ex looked over at me and just said, "Why are you never happy?" And I was like,
she said that?
Yeah, and I was like, we were just sitting there looking
on
at the mountains.
love seat.
Yeah, on the love seat, looking
what
at this
that
beautiful
look you're
thing.
Giving him?
Well, the look is, you have not talked about this on the show.
I thought I did.
Yeah, no.
So she looked over at me, and it was like someone like slapped me in the face. I was like,
but I love that. I love those kind of moments where it's like probably seemed apropos of nothing.
yeah. I was like, where's this coming from? We're sitting right here, and she just was like, I see you, man. Like, you're miserable.
So you were still together at the time?
Yeah. And
What did you say?
I had been sober like without the program for like a year. I didn't say anything. I got mad. I got defensive. I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, that's what, like, fuck you, basically. Like,
I'm so happy.
Yeah, I'm the happiest I've ever been. Look at all this,
bitch.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get in one of my cars. But that was like the catalyst. That was the beginning of that. It wasn't permission, but it was the beginning of me going like, people see me. I thought I had the best act going.
They
people
see me.
like people see that I'm not happy. That like my whole world was
we are
about
the
looking
same person.
like I had it all together and I was happy and I was funny and all good. And she saw it and I was like, fuck, if you can see it, everybody can see this thing. And that was the beginning of me being like, what am I gonna do? Get sober harder, work hard, be a better human being. None of it was working until my divorce. Until
that I get really triggered when someone's like, you seem da-da-da, or that kind of question. My immediate thing is to get defensive. And so,
of course, you're being prodded, you're being poked.
But the permission thing or the waiting, I keep thinking, oh, I'm done. And then I caught myself recently, and this was another shame loss thing I'll share because why not? I think part of the depression I'm in right now, or whatever, I don't know what's worse for me, anxiety or depression. I think anxiety, it immobilizes me more.
Yeah, I have deep anxiety.
Did you have anxiety coming today here?
Not because of today. No, God,
Okay.
no.
There.
In
Yeah.
general,
In
yeah.
general, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's why I pointed out this stuff. That's anxiety. Like depression, sometimes I could still write and but anxiety, this is how I think about it, and like and I can't focus, get quiet. Is the come down of the book. It came out in July, and I'm really proud of it.
I can't wait to read it. Yeah,
it's here. It's really good. And like, listener, reader, you might not think so. That's okay. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to announce your departure.
They will.
Yeah.
They will.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm proud to say I have never, and I will never, on purpose, read any Amazon review or Goodreads. I'm way too sensitive. Why would I do that?
Right.
Now, yes, I will hear. But the point is, not everyone will like it. Fine. Not everyone likes us. Yeah. Fine. We don't have to know either. There's no upside for you telling me someone's shit talking. And it's also revolutionary to say, I'm proud of this, or this is good.
I was going to ask you about that. Would you have been able to say that in your past? Like, I love how bluntly you just said it's really good.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I love how immediately someone might think that's arrogant, and I would question that, because what it is how dare you? Wow.
How dare you believe in the thing that you put all of your energy into? How could I'm a Canadian. That goes even deeper. We have to apologize for it.
And my partner's
I'm sorry I wrote a book.
My partner's Canadian. It makes me insane. I know.
Is it okay that this book is here? I wrote this book. Is it okay? I'm sorry.
But you guys are so nice.
I know.
So I tried not to, because I had a book before and I knew about the expectations. But I definitely had some, and I dared even say out loud, I'm going for it, to get on the New York Times bestseller list. And I gave away a $4,000 spot at my Italy retreat, which I couldn't afford, if people bought 10 copies from an indie bookstore, which meant so much to me because everyone buys on Amazon. So Romans in Pasadena, I sold like 500 in pre-orders, which is like unheard of.
Yeah.
And that made me feel so good, because for the bookstore and for me and all of it. And then I picked a winner, and they're coming to Italy, and just all these people, and it didn't hit the list. And I decided the New York Times. It became a national bestseller.
Yeah, but not a New York Times, right?
And national bestseller is amazing.
Right. Yeah.
The New York Times is the arbiter. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I decided it wasn't for my ego. We all have an ego, fine. But I make my retreats and what have you, I give so much away. I give scholarships away to women who've lost a child. I end up, and I make peanuts. I don't know. I really don't know how I survive. What I make really good money doing, and what I'm really fucking good at, is speaking gigs. Really good. And that's where I make my money. Big money. And more of that will give me more, if you want to call it fuck you money, or more money to do from my heart.
Yeah.
And so I decided it's time. And I thought, I decided as fact, this equation, New York Times bestseller equals more paid speaking gigs. Fact. And that's what it was, I can afford a divorce. So that didn't happen. And I had a breakdown. I'm proud of my recovery time being so quick. Okay. I still take shit personally and whatever, but my recovery time's quicker. But I had a breakdown where I use it as evidence. See, I suck. I'm always going to have to struggle. But also, I realized there was part of me that was like, oh, will you love me now? Am I going to finally be able to sit at the table now that I hit the New York Times bestseller? And I was like, I did it again. I wrote the book, and I'm still waiting to be picked, chosen.
Yeah, and you wrote a book about not waiting.
Well, that's the irony. And being your own proof of life.
Yeah.
And so I hope this podcast does it and gets me on the New York Times.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for sure. It will.
Just wait a little longer.
Yeah.
Proof of life really is this. It's that I don't care how many TV shows you've done and awards you've won. I mean, that's beautiful for you, and how this podcast is going to be number one and in the world.
Yeah, obviously.
And so it is. I don't care. I care, but none of that is proof that you're worthy or more worthy.
That's the thing.
And that is what proof of life is. No matter what, no matter who, we our own proof of life. And we live in such a, how productive are you?
Oh my
what
God.
Have you done? What have you done? What have you done? And it's like, I have done love. And I want to keep remembering that. And it's a daily thing. And that's what the book is. And so, of course, I'm human. The irony that, I had a meltdown. But the point being, I'm very fucking proud of the book. And so part of the depression, I think, is the high and also the addict in me. The high and the stress of it all, and then the nothing.
Yeah.
But also it got quiet suddenly. Every day my Instagram, and every day it was something. And and so I felt all of a sudden worthless and sad and empty.
Yeah, and that come down is super real. On a much smaller scale, when we started this podcast, we were like, oh my God, and we put it out, and then just nothing happened.
Well,
Not nothing, but
not
slow.
nothing.
Okay, not what
Well,
we
you
expected.
mean like oh, you didn't become like
Yeah, we didn't become
number
Rich
one
Roll.
right away.
Well, we weren't good hang with Amy Poehler, who just came out the gate with like a million listeners.
Wait, Amy Poehler was on?
No.
Her podcast. I know she got excited.
Oh my
Amy
God,
Poehler.
Amy Poehler was on?
No.
I love that episode with Amy Poehler. Amy Poehler.
Yes, Amy Poehler will be on.
Calling her in. Do you see what I'm doing?
She's
I
coming.
appreciate it. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you. You mentioned again in your Rich Roll interview, which was awesome, about you feeling like you had made an unconscious commitment to being a hustler forever. You're like, I feel like you learned it from your mom that you're gonna have to hustle
Gay
forever.
Hendricks talks about what are you unconsciously committed to.
Yeah.
Katie Hendricks.
And I just related to that idea that like my value is that I hustle. I'm a hustler. I'm a lifetime hustler. I'm never going to have it easy. I'm never going to be the guy that gets picked.
Do you
I'm
still
always,
feel that?
Yeah, and it's like a point of pride for me, but it also is like fucking depressing. That's frustrating to think that I'm never going to get to
You
take it
get
easy.
to have ease.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I mean it goes back to what you were just saying. It's like you want it all handed on a plate to you. Not that, I mean, we did a lot of work getting this podcast ready, right? And you're like, you want it to come out the gate to be, whatever, top 20 or top 100, whatever it is, right? And when it's not, you have to have that, oh shit, we actually have to work at this.
Yeah.
It doesn't,
Might
it's not
take a
just
little
handed
time.
to us.
Yeah.
But I do want to stress that it has been a great journey so far. We have had a ton of people watching the show. We've got a ton of great feedback. So it's like, just because it rises slower than we want, it doesn't mean it's not rising.
Wow,
It doesn't mean it's beautiful.
This is so interesting because it's so about what we're talking about, because it's all about, and we can all hear it, I know, it's all about result driven and like, when I get there, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've been there 10 times over and never once did I realize if I wasn't there anymore.
Well,
it's
it's process over results.
It's like
right?
that
but it's also like, where's there? Oh, you literally just launched.
Yeah.
Right.
Literally.
And also everybody I ever ask who's been at like a apex of their career, they didn't know it when they were there. They don't, like Devin Sawa was like, I was like, when you were at the height of your fame, were you like, and they're always like, I didn't realize that I was at the height of my fame.
The whole gist of this book too is it wasn't called you get to have this and your this is whatever your inner asshole is denying you of, but you get to have a life that lights you up.
Yeah.
It seems to me this lights you up.
Oh yeah,
for
So
sure.
You're winning.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you've already, and not to sound corny or anything, but you're already winning.
No, this lights us up for sure.
But you're already winning.
Yeah.
And so you get to have a life that lights you up and you're doing it.
Yeah.
How amazing is that?
Well, I said to a guy when we started this, I was like, this is what I'm going to do until I get a job. But I would keep doing it. But like I'm an actor, but it's been a slow time, and I was like, I'll keep doing this, and it'll help me feel good until I get back on track with acting. And now I'm like, I want to get an acting job so I can pay to keep doing this. Like I want to make a little money so I can put more money into staying afloat with this show. Yeah.
I wanted to read a poem, and I was thinking which one.
That'll be a great 10.
Yeah.
with the poem.
Please do.
Shame. The school of whatever works is how I live my life. And if that means whatever works, as long as you're not intentionally hurting yourself or anyone else. So I love the whole setup of this podcast. I love, whatever works, whatever poem. So should I read a poem called Changing Lanes or Shame?
Shame. I want to hear door number two.
Okay.
Door number two.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. For years, every morning, I licked my fingers to see if I'd eaten in my sleep. Crumbs on the tongue meant muffins. For years, every morning, I licked my fingers to see if I dug through the trash to shove them in my mouth like a prisoner withheld food. I was desperate for sustenance, then counted the ways I hated myself for feeding. Who gets to stop being hungry? For years, every morning, I licked my fingers to see if I deserved to be a person. All that chocolate under nails, blackberry seeds and teeth, while my customers took careless bites of turkey meatloaf in bodies that stayed, that knew how to behave. Forks and fingers free from old peanut butter, knives when they needed to make an important point. What a thing that must be, to know who you were without being told. How I wished for this fork-waving assurance. For years, every morning, I licked my fingers to see something, anything. Old habits die hard, and I'd lick, expecting to taste disappointment from what I'd done in the dark. Oh, what I've done in the dark. For years every morning the things we did. How shame told us to be good. How the dark allowed us to be bad.
Cool.
Jen Pastiloff, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Tiny Legends, of course.
Tiny Legends,
We love you all.
Thank
and
you guys.
we do want to say thank you to
the giveaway.
A giveaway.
We wanna do a
Okay.
book giveaway.
I'm going to give away 5 signed copies.
Wonderful.
And on the Instagram post, if they could tag 5 people they love so much. I love you so much. 5.
People love so much.
5.
And follow
and then,
subscribe.
But listen, unless you guys send them, I'm going to say U.S. only, unless you're willing to send out of the U.S.
We'll work out the details.
All right.
We'll work out the details.
I trust you.
So thank you, Tiny Legends. Thank you, of course, to our patrons on Patreon, patreon.com/ILYSM pod. And a special shout out to our big love bug, Jonathan Newman.
Yeah.
Jonathan, thank you so much for being our first
Love bug.
big love bug.
That's what we call our fans, love bugs.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think you're a love bug.
Yeah.
You're a love bug. Because you were shouting us out already on Instagram when Gina was on, so we appreciate your support.
Yeah.
We appreciate the support of all our viewers,
I
all our
reposted
listeners.
it.
I know.
Yeah.
We everyone, if you repost, that's great. And like, subscribe, do all
Did
that
Judy
stuff.
Greer repost her?
Absolutely.
Yes, she collaborated with us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Hashtag I love you, Judy Greer.
Okay. We all love you. All right, everyone. We love you so much.
Love you
Love you so much.